Welcome to the show.
Thanks for joining us.
Another week, Weird Obscure World podcast.
Yes. It's been I don't know, not too eventful. Haven't seen much Florida come across the line.
Florida man.
But they have had a hurricane or tropical storm or something going on down there. So maybe they're busy with, not crazy people
carnage.
Stuff.
The crazy people are floating in all of the water.
No,
they're on inner tubes.
They're the ones that survive.
That's the truth.
That's probably it.
That's
the crazy
the truth.
people all make it out of it okay, and it's the normal people that have a hard time.
Maybe that explains why the coastal areas have this flourishing nation of nutsos.
It's in our genetic makeup, I suppose, that crazy people
survive.
Prosper.
Yes, gotta be.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Anyway, so I got the story this week, right?
Yeah, so you got weird news first.
So I'm going to start off. We're going to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Flattest state ever.
Is it?
It feels like it.
Oh.
Have you ever driven across Oklahoma?
I just went across the panhandle.
Oh, jeez.
We're going to Guthrie.
Okay.
All right, so 2 people were arrested at a traffic stop in a stolen car. So these 2 people had further items on them.
Not just the stolen car.
Not just a stolen car.
Okay.
They had a rattlesnake.
What?
Yeah. A rattlesnake.
Okay. Were they coming from Florida?
An open bottle of Kentucky Deluxe, which is a whiskey.
Okay.
And radioactive uranium.
Okay, so you had me at rattlesnake. How does a patrol officer deal with, okay, the open bottle, it's a given, happens all the time. The rattlesnake, you're like, whoa, that's a surprise. The radioactive uranium, did they pick it up at like Radio Shack?
I don't know if the rattlesnake's a crime.
No, but it's clearly dangerous.
Yeah, but I don't know what the rules are on that. But the open container, duh. And I don't know what's up with the uranium. I don't know. But let's read on.
What?
Stephen Jennings, he's charged with possession of a stolen vehicle, transporting an open container of liquor. Why is it transporting an open container of liquor, not, open container? Why does he have just transport? But anyways, operating a vehicle with a suspended license and failure to carry security verification form. I don't know what the security verification form is. That may have to do with the uranium.
Oh, yeah. I would think, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like, why do you have it in a... Okay, you're in a stolen car.
Uh-huh.
Is he trying to make, like, a new snake creature?
Snake man?
Yeah. That's what I'm wondering. Like a superhero snake. They're like, so here's how it went down.
Oh, if I only knew how to control stuff, I'd control our video so it went like on Batman and spun us.
It's all pow, boom,
kazam.
So maybe they got to drinking, and then they came across a rattlesnake.
Okay.
And then they were like, you know what we should do? They just got done watching the new Spider-Man that just came out. And they're like, here's what we need. We need some radioactive uranium. They were, now, of course, maybe his wife said, you're crazy. You can't do that. So he had to steal the neighbor's car.
Oh, well, not his wife. His girlfriend has her own charges pending.
Was she with him?
Yes. I don't know if a girlfriend, it doesn't say. Her name's Rachel Rivera. His name, again, is Stephen Jennings. Or Steven, I don't know, but it's spelled the Stephen style. What
the heck?
She's charged with possession of a firearm, and she's a convicted felon, so she's not allowed to have a firearm. So that's her charge. It could be that this Kentucky Deluxe is a good whiskey that tunes you up right.
Perhaps it all started with Kentucky Deluxe. Do they sell that here in Utah?
I don't know, but that'll
Listen,
be on our taste test night. We do need to do that taste test night.
Yeah, we do. We will not be including a rattlesnake and radioactive uranium at the closing of taste testing.
I think we're going to go gentler than that. We'll get a hamster and
a microwave
and a UV lamp.
We're going to create the first tan hamster.
Da-na-na, da-na-na.
We'll fashion him a little cape.
They're not charging them with the uranium because there's nothing specifically on the books.
Okay.
For that, because first of all, they don't expect you to have uranium.
Right.
Second of all, it hasn't been a big issue to have it. So nothing's been written into the code. So they're not being charged with that. And they've got enough charges on the other stuff. Both of them are priors. So this will be, add-ons to whatever.
Okay. So pop quiz. If someone kicked in the door to the podcast room right now and said, go get some radioactive uranium, and held you at gunpoint, where would you even find that?
That's a very good question.
I mean, where does this guy find radioactive uranium?
He's not charged for the rattlesnake either.
Okay, rattlesnakes?
Because it's
even
rattlesnakes.
I could probably find a rattlesnake.
No, hold on. It's rattlesnake season in Oklahoma.
So did he have a permit?
He's got a license to have a rattlesnake.
Oh.
So he's legal on the rattlesnake. So all he's getting popped with is DUI or DWI.
And stolen vehicle. And no security permit.
Yeah, I don't understand the security permit.
Maybe it's because now rattlesnake season, they don't just usually gather them up live, do they? I mean, season kind of infers a harvesting of.
We don't have a
it's always rattlesnake season
rattlesnake season in Utah.
We don't collect them live.
No, we have. I have heard that there's a 3S rule in rattlesnake hunting in Utah.
What? Okay.
Because it is illegal.
To hunt rattlesnakes?
Yes. It's illegal to harm rattlesnakes in Utah.
Listen, I have shoveled a couple rattlesnakes.
That's part of the S. It's shoot, shovel, and shut up.
Okay, so I whacked the head of a rattlesnake years ago with the head of a shovel as I was digging up my garden.
Yep. So
I did something illegal?
Yes.
Are you kidding?
No.
What about gardener snakes?
I don't know.
There's like a 7-foot gardener snake behind the rocks behind my house.
You know what they'll do?
They eat rattlesnakes. That's why I've left him
keep
alone.
Rattlesnakes away. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not fond of him.
Well,
He and I have an agreement to disagree.
He gets one side of the yard and you get the other.
But ever since Dad told me, you know what they do? They eat rattlesnakes. I'm like, okay, fine. So
Yep.
you don't come out when I'm outside. If I see you, I won't go out. It's our agreement.
Yeah. Yeah. You take turns.
And we get along just fine.
You take turns. Now,
if ever he breaks that agreement, though,
you'll send your husband after him?
we may have to end our agreement permanently.
Have to renegotiate terms.
He may end up in a couple of pieces. and then the shovel part would come in.
Yeah, yeah. Dig him a hole.
That's a strange story. I don't know where I go with that.
With your agreement with the rattlesnake?
No, with the rattlesnake and the uranium.
Yeah. Well, when making...
I want to talk to him. When making Snake Man, he needs a cooler name than Snake Man.
You don't want Snake Man, though.
Yeah, you want like Fang.
Ooh.
Fang would be like a superhero
Slither
name.
Man.
Or just Slither. Like, what would be his superpower, though? He wiggles out of his skin.
Ooh.
That's a gross superpower. Some people have that. Some people flake their
He
skin
plays
off.
maracas very well.
Yeah. Oh.
Cuban.
Stephen,
Yeah.
whatever you are.
Where'd you get the uranium?
We want to
What's
know.
the story with that?
Yeah.
We
because
got the
I wouldn't know where to
rattlesnake.
find it.
We're good with that.
But the Kentucky bourbon whiskey stuff, that's so run of the mill.
Yeah. We're
The
good with all
stolen
that.
car happens all the time.
Got it. Whatever.
All of that is
So last year.
completely last season. But the uranium,
Yes. The uranium. We, inquiring minds. But anyways, let's hear Betsy's story.
I'm going to look it up. I'm going to ask when I get home, I'm going to ask Alexa where I can get radioactive uranium and see what she says.
Her address is NSA. Oh, you already know. Alexa's already told you.
That's right.
That's good. It's not here. There is no Alexa in this house. And
Okay.
I've shut off Cortana on my computer, I think.
You ready for mine?
Yep.
Finland
Uh-huh.
hosts the first ever
Uh-huh.
heavy metal knitting championship.
Let's mohawk mom's hair. No. Do the full spikies everywhere.
Liberty spikes.
And, oh, man.
So armed with needles and a
Fake
yarn of
tattoos.
wool. Oh, yeah, those sleeves.
Yeah, those pantyhose with the tattoos on them.
Armed with needles and a yarn. It says a yarn of wool. Anyway, a skein of yarn wool or wool yarn.
A skein?
It comes in skeins. That's the
Is
weight.
that the term?
The term for a gaggle of yarn.
Thank you for joining us on Knitting Talk today.
the knitting hour.
Okay, so it's called a skein.
Yes.
Give us some other terms.
Well, okay, so
those
instead
wads
of
that you buy in the
pearl
store.
jam, to purl is an actual stitch in knitting. So you purl 25 and then knit 12 or purl whatever. So when they say pearl jam for the heavy metal, I wouldn't consider pearl jam heavy metal, but anyway, it's different because
this is in Norway, so this would be Norwegian black metal.
Yeah, so armed with needles, teams of avid knitters danced Thursday to the deafening sounds of drums beating.
Danced while they knitted?
Yeah. And guitars slashing at the first ever heavy metal knitting world championship. What are they knitting? So with stage name,
Do you knit
names,
doilies?
you can.
Did you
yes.
see what I sent Mom to knit me? Did she show you?
I don't know which one. The pants.
Mm-mm.
What? Oh Lord.
Coasters.
Coasters.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so easy.
These are awesome.
You have
We'll
to show
put them
to
up
me.
on the thing, yes.
So
They're beautiful coasters. I got the idea from someone else, and I'm running with it. Mom's making them for me as we speak.
okay, so with stage names such as Wolf Fumes, Bunny Bandit, and 9-inch Needles.
They've got stage names.
Well, yeah, because they get up and to showcase their knitting skills, they get up and they dance to heavy metal.
While they knit?
Yeah, while they knit.
Or just showing it off?
No, they knit while they dance. What's the point? It's a knitting championship. You got to knit. So the competition took place in a packed square in the small town of...
Today I'm knitting a cape.
Today I shall knit me a ball gag. So an eclectic group of around 200 people watched the performances. From families with young children and elderly to the less conspicuous heavy metal fans donning leather jackets and swirling their long hair.
You know how Grandma plays like music from when she was a kid around the house while she cleans and dances?
Yeah.
Just thinking, 20, 30 years, 40 years, when all these old widows are still alive.
Oh, these heavy metal ones?
But they're cleaning to Metallica and Megadeth, maybe a little Poison. Like, imagine
what will music be then?
what happens when you walk into Grandma's house.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, she's got a rag in one hand. The broom is conveniently placed, leaning up against whatever she leans it up against to get ready to sweep. And She's My Cherry Pie is blasting.
I can't even. She first of all would think that the radio was broken. Oh no! Oh my! Oh, what is this?
And you know to be blasting because
She can't hear.
the hearing, yeah.
Yeah. So in Finland, heavy metal is more mainstream than anywhere else.
Yes.
They actually have Finland has the highest number of heavy metal bands per capita in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Norwegian black metal.
Yeah, and it's not.
It's dark.
It is dark. It's
heavy,
not.
heavy.
It's not like our heavy metal. It's like screamo. Heavy
not
metal.
screamo, like growlo.
Yeah.
They're really growly and.
So the competition saw participants from 9 countries, including the United States,
Oh, really?
Japan, and Russia.
Really,
It's a world championship, Jared. This is serious. They're going to be in the Olympics next.
We sent a team over.
Yes.
You know what's in the Olympics? I heard, Betsy.
Oh no.
You know what they've got a review board together for?
What is it?
Pole dancing. I can't wait.
Jared. The Japanese.
I know a few guys.
The
that could be
Japanese are going
judges.
to be so disappointed.
No, it's the Chinese. Remember
Is
that
it the
principal?
Chinese? No, the Japanese have them at their funerals.
No, that was the Chinese.
Was it the Chinese?
Yes.
Anyway, they've got a
To
hotline.
boost the numbers.
That's so terrible.
And that Chinese principal. Remember
Yeah.
the kindergarten principal?
Lost her job over it.
Yeah, which is too bad. I mean, she was teaching them about a future profession.
It was take your kid to work day. Duh. So one lady, 35-year-old nurse from Michigan, who performed with her 71-year-old mother,
Really?
said it's a great release. Knitting is such a meditative activity, but now it's energetic and heart pumping. I wonder if I could do like a quick knitting session with Dustin. And then he could knit while he jams out because he likes the Finnish heavy metal bands.
Grandma Jane used to come dance when I was playing some heavy metal down in the...
Oh, she did not.
She did too. When she'd come in, she would dance and we would all giggle about it.
To heavy metal? Oh.
Well, it was usually...
Back then it wasn't.
I think the heaviest thing she ever danced to was Anthrax.
Yeah, Anthrax pretty heavy.
It was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But, she's just a sweet little grandma.
Anyway, we got to teach Mom. We got to see if we can get Mom to do some heavy metal dancing while she knits. She's knitting right now as we speak.
As we speak. Yeah, that's out in my front room. We've got to, one day we'll get her on camera, but we've got to get her to listen to heavy metal.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's not my cup of tea either, but
Yeah.
anyway.
We could hook it up.
When I saw that, I was cracked up.
That's
what
funny.
the heck?
That's funny. I still want to go into all the different names that you've got. The what is it called? The squatch or the skiff or what was it? The bundle, the roll.
It's a skein. It's a skein of yarn.
A skein.
Yes. And
Like stain.
yes.
So you could
Yes.
handle your skein while listening to stain.
Yes. And the things that you knit with are called knitting needles,
Well,
and they come in different lengths.
Yeah, knitting needles.
Yes. And then there's different stitches that you do. And in knitting, it's usually purls and knits. So you purl so many. And to purl means to take it on to the knitting needle to take up a loop. So you purl however many, and then you knit.
Do go on.
So that's what it is. It's knitting. But I don't do it to...
Betsy's going to have the start a new show soon.
Welcome to Knitting Hour with the World World
Knitter's
Potter.
Corner. We'll have to do it NPR. And today on Knitter's Corner.
Oh, heavens.
All right. I've got a couple of honorable mentions.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so Saudi Arabia, they're ditching the laws that allow men to control the travel of women, which I think is an excellent story. It's excellent. They've been catching a little bit of pressure from that, and they're getting rid of that policy. which is good. We got to bring them out of kind of ideals that are religiously based, that can
Right.
be negative, that are fundamentalist and based in a previous time policies.
I think that's a good start, but they do have a lot.
They've
of
got a
work to
long
do.
ways to go,
Yeah.
but this is a step. The more they allow everyone in their society to become a full member of society, the better off they'll be.
Boy, there's a lot of growing pains with that kind of stuff.
Oh, there is. But you know what? I mean, we're still going through growing pains from ours. So
yeah, that's it. It reminds me
and the
of
growing
that.
pains will always will always happen. But, letting women travel and have at least that autonomy, I think that's a huge step.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then, maybe stop punishing secularists. That's another big step they need to embrace. But, I'm gonna celebrate when they do something and not point out what they haven't done yet. So, good job on Saudi Arabia. Outstanding. Saudi women, enjoy your little
freedom to travel.
Yeah, your little grasp of freedom you've just gained. Enjoy it. Take a cruise. All right. So, on to the main subject. You ready?
Boy, I don't know. Let's hear it.
Okay, so I want to talk about kind of an overview of shape-shifting, like shape-shifting humans, like legends and myths and what have you. But most of what I'm going to concentrate on are from the American continents, Mesoamerican and what have you.
Okay.
But we've got to start out with a little bit of Greek, a little bit of French, and a little bit of Old English. So, Therianthropy.
Therianthropy.
Yeah, that's the
actual name of shapeshifting?
that's the Greek name. That'd be like the medical term.
We've had a couple of thropies lately.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So is it the ability to shapeshift is therianthropy?
Therian means wild animal,
Okay.
and anthropos means human being.
Oh.
So it's two
It's like
words
a-
that's combined. Just like where is Old English for animal or for human,
And then wolf.
wolf,
I didn't know that.
where is it's Old English.
Okay.
And then the French, you have lycanthrope. So they still carry on with thrope, but lycan is wolf. That's werewolf's name is lycanthrope.
Okay.
So it's a mythical ability of human beings to metamorph into animals by means of shape shifting. That's therianthropy. And then you got where whatever is the blending of Old English, where equals man, and then whatever.
So they have like were fish or
They have were cats,
were cats? Were
were
cats?
rats, were jaguars, were hyenas.
I don't want to do their were rats.
And this is something that's popped up in human cultures all over. As I was studying this, you've got them in Japan, in Africa, everywhere. So this is a common
Mythology.
common mythology. But
For sure.
mostly I'm going to concentrate on the Americas because, one, it boils it down smaller, and two, we have a really good record of it because of how recent some of the beliefs are.
Okay. I've never heard of were anything other than wolf.
Oh, yeah, you've got were rats, were
Were octopus?
jaguars, were topi.
Work to pie.
But anyways, so let's go through some of the different wares in mythology. You got the Hue Chivo, which is a Spanish word, but it comes from the Mayan beast.
Okay.
Yucatan Peninsula. It's half man, half beast, with burning red eyes.
Okay. What does it do?
It's often said to be an evil sorcerer who can transform himself into a supernatural animal, usually a goat, dog, or deer, in order to prey upon livestock. I've never seen a goat or a deer eat livestock.
It's very ineffective
Yeah.
shape-shifting.
Yeah, their mouths
like-
just not designed. I mean, the goat, I guess, could headbutt something down, and then the deer could kick at it, but the dog digging it. In recent times, it has become associated with the chupacabra. The Hawaii Chivo is specific to the southeastern Mexican states of Yucatan, Campeche, and Quintana Roo.
Good job.
Stumbled through all those.
Sounds Australian. Quintana Roo.
The kangaroo. Alleged Hawaii Chivo activity is sporadically reported in the regional press. Local Maya near the town of Valladolid in Yucatan believe the Hawaii Chivo is an evil sorcerer that is capable of transforming into a goat to do mischief and eat livestock.
But why a goat? I had pygmy goats. They ate aluminum cans.
Well, I'm sure a goat could. Now, deer have been known to eat like eggs in fields.
Okay. Defenseless eggs. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But a goat.
I know.
It makes me look at goats differently. Like, I want to look in their mouths now.
For what?
I don't know. Big canine teeth or something. Like, I mean, they're herbivores, correct?
See a saber-toothed goat.
It's a weregoat.
In Mesoamerican folk religion, there is the Nagul or Nawal.
Okay. Not to be mistaken for the narwhal.
Not the narwhal.
Oh, is it a narwhal?
Sure.
Okay. The narwhal. Okay. What does he do?
It's a human being who has the power to transform, shapeshift beyond the premises of the human form, most often believed to be in an animal form.
Okay. So
So-
they're pretty open, just an animal.
That's where the octopi comes in.
Yeah. Okay.
Widespread superstition that in order to become a Nagul or Nawal, that I think it's just dialect from what area you're from.
Okay.
You have to do a pact with the devil and offer him something really special.
To become one?
Yeah.
I wonder if we could do that through our cardboardo. I want to become aware.
I don't.
Pie.
You're taking that damn thing home if you keep playing with that. I don't want to change into anything weird.
I'm just
I mean,
saying.
if he wants to pop some wings on me once in a while so I can fly, all right. But
You don't want to become Fang or Slither, the snake man.
no, and I'm already hairy enough. Now, they're believed that they can use their powers for good or evil according to their personality. The general concept of Nagulism is pan-Mesoamerican,
Okay.
and it's linked to pre-Columbian shamanism and like Olmec. So that's like Olmec are ancient. They're older than the Aztecs and the Incas. Olmecs are like kind of the original empire over here,
Okay.
from
So
my
it comes-
understanding.
That's a long-standing myth.
Yes, and we've actually found, like, they found some Olmec statues and art that depict this, and it appears that the birth date determines whether you're one or not. So,
Kind of
there's-
like it determines your sign. It also determines whether or
yeah,
not.
so it has to do with your birth date, and then you also have to make the deal on top of it. But we know very little about it because of how old it is.
You know, there's not a lot of written history for us to study.
There's nothing from the
And
Olmecs as
generally-
artistic history. But
Generally, mythology is verbally passed down. It's not often found. You'll find pictographs and things of old myths, but it's not often found in written histories.
Yeah, they had no writing in the Olmec had no writing. We've got another Olmec one, the were-jaguar. Now this one is depicted with almond-shaped eyes, kind of like a gray.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so it's believed to be a god, the breeding of a jaguar with a woman, things like that. But our understanding is that sometimes when it's depicted as a god, sometimes as it's depicted as one of these naguls. And it shows up in their record, and it's depicted as either supernatural or a man changing into a jaguar. And we do know that the jaguar was a symbol for a lot of ancient Central and South American warrior classes.
Because it was a fierce predator.
Well, yeah, it was the fierce predator down there.
Interesting. So do these shapeshifters go about their daily lives and then control the shapeshifting? Or is it like the old werewolf movies where they have to learn to control it?
Some of them learn to control. Some are controlled by the moon. That falls down to when you go into wares or lycanthropes, there's a couple ways they can do it. Some of them, they had a fur belt. The belt was made out of the animal. So they were werebears. The belt was made out of the animal. The belt was blessed or cursed. And when you put that belt on, you changed into that animal.
So I need suction cup octopi. Suction cup.
Well, you know that Ed Gein? You know what kind of belt
nipples.
he made? Yeah, the nipple belt.
No.
Changed into a big old boob.
That's a whole different kind of wear.
Anyway, and then they were cursed, so a witch would curse you. And that's usually when you have the full moon. The moon would come out. It wasn't under your control. The witch had cursed you. And it was a curse upon you. You'd harm your family and friends and all that stuff. And then there is the ones who seek it out for themselves to gain strength through becoming an animal.
Interesting.
Now, the next one is my favorite.
Okay.
The Chon-Chon.
The Chon-Chon?
Yes.
Sounds like a dance.
Yes. It's Mapuche religion from Chile and southern Argentina.
Okay.
All right. The Chon-Chon is a magical transformation of the powerful Colcas, which are sorcerers or shamans.
Okay.
That know the secret of the Colcas. So their religion is Colca, and they're called Colca.
And they know the secret handshake. Got it.
They become this feared creature.
It is.
You ready to hear how they do it?
Okay. What's the creature?
The Chon-Chon.
Oh, it's a Chon-Chon is a creature?
The creature is called the Chon-Chon.
Okay. You know the secret?
I know. I don't know the secret. I know what it is.
Okay.
I read it. I wrote it. I read it, then wrote it.
Okay, but how? Okay.
So they make this special paste, special cream that they rub on their neck.
Okay.
That allows their head to be cut off easily. And then their ears grow big. It becomes wings. And then this head flies around and screams. And it has a known cry. 2, 2, 2.
This is not a fierce creature. It's a head. What does it do? Does it?
It can suck your blood and bite. It has a mouth and it says 2 a lot and keeps you awake, and it's a bad omen. It's like seeing a blackbird or a raven. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
The Chon-Chon. So they cut their head off. And
I'm going to have nightmares about the Chon-Chon.
Yeah.
Okay. They actually cut their head off?
They cut their own head off.
To become a Chon-Chon?
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Okay. That's the best one yet.
That's why it's my favorite.
Do you have a picture of a Chon Chon?
There's a couple pictures. I'll
Their
bring them up and they'll be put on the.
do their wings still look like big floppy ears?
Some of the pictures they kind of pointed, but yeah, they were big ears. They come right out the side of the head. I mean, they're artist depictions, obviously.
Well, it's
Okay.
difficult to catch an actual Chon Chon on camera because their stealthiness of their big bobble head
But they
flying
yell
around.
too. It's easy to find them. Just follow the tube.
I wonder if there's a creature over there that says two.
Now, it could have been confused with the bat. Easily with the bat.
Creepy.
Because it's dark. Bats are kind of roundish.
I mean, how big your ears got to get so that your head doesn't
It's
look.
all about aerodynamics and flight, Betsy. I could teach you the math, but I mean, come on, this show's not that long.
There's a frog in Puerto Rico. It's the coqui frog, and they call it the coqui frog because it says coqui, 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 coqui.
Yeah.
Why doesn't the Chon Chon say Chon, 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 Chon? Why does it say two, two, two? Why isn't it the tutu and not the Chon Chon?
Maybe they already had a tutu.
Could
It's
be.
a grass skirt. Pokes out.
Oh, okay. Next one.
Yep, the Chon Chon. Okay, now Mexico had a thing about using L's.
Like El Chon Chon?
No. Like Teach Todolilin, whatever, their old capital. I can never say it. They toss an L. They like to throw L's in the middle of consonants where L's shouldn't exist for my tongue. So I'm going to stumble through this.
Okay.
Tlahuelpuchi.
Oh.
Tlahuelpuchi.
Talala hula hula hula.
Yeah, a lot of L in that.
Okay.
It's a type of vampire that lives with its human family.
So would vampires be considered shapeshifters because it's not an... okay, but a
Some-
bat's an animal?
Now, the vampire term technically means that it just consumes blood. It doesn't mean that it goes blah and counts stuff a lot.
Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't do that.
No.
No. Okay, but... Okay. It would be considered shapeshifting if it's a human and then it turns to a bat.
Yes.
But that would be a were-bat,
Yes.
not a vampire.
Maybe.
Or both.
But what if it cuts off its head and its head becomes a bat? See,
Okay.
now, in some of the stories of the choo-choo, or what was it
Chon
called?
Chon.
The Chon-Chon, after they were done with their night stalks, they'd come back, the head would reconnect. In some of the stories, the head's just out, and that's the continuation of life, and the body decays and gets buried. So the stories were mixed on that. But anyway, so
Are they actually cutting their heads off?
that's the story.
Jared, we need to make a shirt with the Chon Chon on it.
A
But
Chon-Chon?
I want it to have giant ear-like looking wings.
Yes, and also, we'll get into that in a second. We got some stuff to cover.
Okay.
All right. So the T, L, couple of consonants and vowels, and then like 7 more L's. Anyways, so it's able to shape shift and sucks the blood of infants at night, and it kind of glows during and after it's shape shifting. So it's a human, turns into. The way they explain it, it looks more like a shadow goblin, but it has a glowing aura around it.
Okay.
Most of them are female, and they're more powerful than male humans. So when they change, or even when they're people, they're like super strong females that can compete against males in strength.
Okay.
They form a society, and they usually have their own territories. And they make a pact with the local shamans and other supernatural creatures so that the shamans won't turn them in. I don't understand why. I looked into it, and it seems like they would barter with magical items with the shaman. So the shaman would kind of let them be so that the shaman could still get magical items from him. And then their skin was considered especially potent ingredients in making spells. So maybe that was part of the arrangement. I let you do this now, but when you pass on, I get your skin.
That's really gross.
It's quite gross.
And they've created communities of these.
Well, they
Palui Louise.
Yeah, that's what it says. I don't.
And where is this at?
This is in Mexico.
Let's go.
Well, these is ancient mythical beasts.
They don't still have these anymore?
Not that we know of.
Did they just die off? There wasn't enough Palui Louie breeding, or
I don't know.
were they hunted to death?
Could be. There was the old Spaniards coming in.
Okay.
And then we've got
Interesting.
the one I want to do a story on these guys here in 2 weeks, and I want to be very respectful about this because we have close family friends, who come from this tribe, this nation, and so we want to make sure that we try to get their input. But it's skinwalkers or Naldalushi.
That's their official name?
Oh, I don't know if official's the word, but it means goes on all fours.
I've seen a couple videos of those. They are on all fours.
Well, that's the term. It comes from the Navajo culture. A skinwalker is a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. And they can also, in some of the stories, possess people. They lure you out by changing their form into someone you're familiar with. Like, let's say you and me were here at this deal doing our show, and then you leave, and then outside I hear your voice, and I look outside and I see you. That's how they would lure you out.
That's creepy. And this is a Navajo
Yes.
mythology?
Yes. Navajo witches, including skinwalkers, represent the antithesis of Navajo cultural values. So you have medicine men and healers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere along the way, they embrace the darker aspects.
So are skinwalkers always dark? They're never for good?
Yeah, they're
They don't
never
like
for
show
good.
up and do cool things for you?
Yeah, they're not for good.
Okay.
Well, they might do cool things for you, but I imagine it would always be with an intention to get something in return.
Okay.
Where, and there's lots of stories out there. There's stories of they use poison quills, and so you'll get poisoned, go to the doctor. Doctors can't figure it out, and a Navajo medicine man will be able to figure it out and make a medicine to help you through it and keep you alive.
Interesting.
While community healers and cultural workers are known as medicine men and women, or by terms in the local indigenous language, witches are seen as evil, performing twisted ceremonies and manipulating magic in a perversion of the good works the medicine people traditionally perform.
So they consider witches to be the opposite of their medicine men.
A medicine man or woman can become a witch. So you may start down on the path of medicine and then embrace evil. Then you become a witch. Once you embrace that evil, you become a witch. In order to practice their good works, traditional healers learn about both good and evil magic. But it's the ones that embrace the evil magic that become the witches or the skinwalkers. I would say skinwalkers fall under the witch term.
Okay.
Most medicine men can handle the responsibility, but some people become corrupt and choose to become witches. And there's lots of claims about how they become a witch. To become a skinwalker, you have to commit some vile acts, and most of the time you have to kill and or consume a family member or a loved one.
To become a skinwalker?
Yes.
So it's a choice you make.
Yes. Now in the
It's
Navajo,
not. Well, I guess the Wendigo is similar. It's a choice you make. That if you choose to consume, then you
the
become a
Wendigo is possessed by the spirit of starvation, where this one is a choice to become a practitioner of evil. Now, in the Navajo culture, according to my studies, they would wear deer or sheep, bison, cow. They would wear those skins, and they would avoid wearing wolf, bear. They would avoid wearing the dangerous animal skins. And it seems like those that would wear those dangerous animal skins might be dancing with the tradition of the skinwalker, from what I've read.
Interesting. Like the spirit of the animal remains in the skin somehow.
It might be just a sign of cultural respect, too. I would like to dig in a little more on that. But we are going to, I am going to, for the Skinwalker show that's coming up, I'm going to consult with some friends and have them really put their input in and make sure that I have the story.
I think all of these, the fact that all of these myths have survived the test of time, I think they all deserve their due. I think even the Chan, which,
my favorite,
is hilarious, giant ears flying around.
Just a head.
I mean,
with
just
ears.
It's important to be respectful to that mythology.
Well, I definitely believe
because
in, whether they even still believe it or not, I still want to be respectful to it.
Do you think, because I see new stuff about skinwalkers all the time, do you think it's still a very prevalent mythology?
It is, and there's lots of stories, recent stories, like Skinwalker Ranch is up on Ute territory. Correct? According to the legend, that was the Skinwalker was sent up there by Navajo. They were kind of at war with each other, and that was a means of war.
So the Navajo sent a skinwalker.
Yes. Cursed the Utes with a skinwalker. However, it said they did it. That's one of the legends of how the skinwalker got to Skinwalker Ranch.
Okay, so that brings so many questions to mind. So do you know if people in your life have chosen to become skinwalkers? Because how could you send a skinwalker if you had no idea that they were skinwalkers?
I don't know. We would have to dig in a lot more. There's a couple of thoughts that come to mind, like because if you're at a time of war, let's put it in the context of World War II. Did you know that the CIA worked with Lucky Luciano during World War II?
I'd heard that.
Could be along the same theory. You're fighting something
the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Something that means possible annihilation of your people, or someone who just kind of corrupts on the outskirts of your people. Which one is better?
Yeah.
And if you can use one to stop the other,
Yeah. Interesting. So Skinwalker and werewolf are the two that I think come to mind whenever I think of shapeshifter.
Yes.
Because
those are the ones that are popular in our culture.
I think it's because that they're the most popular.
The werewolf kind of originates in France. But the name werewolf originates in Old English.
Interesting.
But French, the werewolf, that goes all the way back to Greek times. But it was when the Romans encountered the French was when werewolf stories were real prevalent. And
Are
we'll
French
definitely
really hairy?
have to do a show on that. just that thin mustache. Anyways, and
I'm just
and their
wondering.
ladies might braid
Perhaps-
a little bit under the arms.
Perhaps werewolves were just hairy women.
Yeah, well, in Europe, in ancient Europe, the wolf was the dominant predator against humans.
Yeah. Yeah. So I could see it taking on this supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Shapeshifters.
Yes. So
Chon-
that's just an overview, kind of a
Chon Chon's my
primer.
favorite.
Chon Chon, hands down.
Chon Chon.
Hands down, the best monster mythological demon everything.
Why hasn't there
ever.
been a movie about the Chon Chon? We
don't
have
know.
Gremlins. We have all kinds
Good
of
movie.
crazy movies. There needs to be a Chon Chon movie.
Yeah.
Like the guy makes the thing and
He puts a paste on his neck and then cuts his head off.
lops his head off, and then you watch it on the table as it sprouts big ears.
Well, its ears grow and they're floppy, and then it's just learning, so they're
It-
wiggling slowly, and it's all confused. And then it says
Jared.
two.
And why two? That doesn't even sound scary.
I don't know.
Maybe it would be scary coming from a Chon Chon.
Well, I think so. And then you've got others. Okay, in French. Well, okay, we could go with loup-garou.
Heard
Is
of that.
French, and that's a cursed werewolf. That's a werewolf that carries a curse, if I'm remembering correctly.
In a pouch.
Well, that's one that's cursed to be a werewolf. And then you go down into the Cajun area where they speak Creole, and it's changed. It's rougarou.
Well, that's because the
So
loup-garou was too hard.
You'll hear the word down there, rougarou, and they talk about a werewolf, and that's loup-garou, the wording being kind of bastardized.
It's kind of like ask and axe.
Yeah. You've got the Kentucky Dogman. Those are another
Yeah.
former werewolf, and that's a recent story from, I think, the early 80s.
Interesting. Yeah, I think werewolves are the most common. Skinwalkers for us, I think, are very common because of where we are located.
Our proximity to
we've got a really large Navajo nation.
yeah.
Most of us have friends who
Oh, yeah.
are of Navajo
Grew up with
descent. Grew up with them, went to school with them.
Yep.
And then we are not that far from Skinwalker
I
Ranch.
listened to the stories of skinwalkers growing up from my best friend's grandmother, who raised him and or who he lived with, and she would tell us these scary stories about skinwalkers. And then
What would she tell you they would do to you?
I was so young, I don't remember a lot. And then
Wear clean underwear or
And
the
then-
skinwalkers will get you.
and then my next best friend was also, of descent, and you'd hear stories about other, native traditions, water babies and things. We need to do a show on them also.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
There's
so-
we have a couple of really large the Bannock Indian tribe has a really large following of the water babies mythology,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just north of us.
Yep.
Their reservation's pretty large up there.
So we got all sides, we got the
Yeah.
Navajo south of us. We got the Goshute west, the Ute east.
The Bannock Indian tribe
Yep,
is
the Bannock
north.
and Blackfoot are real close. They're
Yeah.
all right around here. So it'd be really neat to do a kind of a series of shows on that. And a lot of the shows, like the Water Babies, is a tragedy.
Well, I think we should have them in. I think we
Mhm.
should invite a couple of guests in and just let them tell what they were told.
Yeah.
The history of it gets a little marred and could be conflicting stories between tribes or, amongst tribes. But I think it'd be interesting to hear what they were told, what was passed down to them verbally.
Yeah.
Just what are the stories,
For sure.
Awesome.
But yeah, So,
Shapeshifters.
I think we're going to have a couple of depictions of our Chon Chon.
Chon Chon. Look for it on a
It's
T-shirt.
a homeboy. Except it's not going to have pointy ears. It's just going to have full on, just
Mad
big old
off
ears.
of the like those Mad magazines.
It's going to look like Alfred.
He was a Chon Chon,
Missing
man.
tooth, big ears flying around. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thanks for joining us. Oh, a couple things to cover. We've got the design for the T-shirt ready to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it in the merch store within the next week.
Yes. Oh, and actually, it's not just going to be T-shirts. You're going to be able to send us an email and say, "Hey, I would like that on a flag or a coffee cup, whatever," and we will put it on that and send that to you, and we'll figure out pricing. It'll be fair for me. I'm going to make millions off you. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, but yeah, I personally am going to have a flag made. It's going to be hanging right here.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so just let us know, if you like it, what you like. The first design is out, and we've got a few more designs coming, and I so far am the artist.
It's awesome. They look
All right.
awesome. There was one gentleman that wants to know what his name feels like. Let me read it to you.
I wrote that.
Did you respond to that?
Yeah.
What did you decide?
Hard as iron,
Oh.
soft as newborn baby shit. I told you. I know the guy anyway.
You're you're really good at
It
this.
fits him. Oh, man.
Okay, so send in your names. I don't know if you guys listened to the last episode. We talked about a lady.
Was it the live one?
No, it was the full show.
Okay.
We talked about it was weird syndromes. This
Oh.
lady can smell what your
Smell.
name
Yeah, and I
smells like.
can tell you what your name feels like. That's my syndrome.
Yeah, so Jared's syndrome. Send in because that's hilarious. I can't believe you said that. Hard as iron, yet soft like newborn shit. Love it.
Yeah, but yeah, send us in your name if you want that done. The Skinwalker has been requested 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah.
And I want to treat it extremely respectfully because of my close family ties, and I don't ever want to abuse anybody, except for the criminals. I'm good with abusing them, but I don't want to abuse innocent people. So we are going to be coming up. I'm going to do a full show on Skinwalkers, hopefully in 2 weeks. It all depends on how quick I can assemble my my dream team.
That's right.
But yeah, and I think it's a really interesting show. Some of the best creepypasta comes out of Skinwalkers. Some of the best.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and as soon as we get some T-shirts done with our cool new logo, the artist has got to sign the logo, and then I'm going to put it on some shirts. I'll put them on Facebook, kind of first come, first serve.
yeah.
If you guys want to get some merch.
Yeah, we've got that made, and or we've got the stuff ordered. It'll be up there, and you can order them. I mean, even if we have to, make to order, we can do that.
Yeah.
Betsy can do that.
Yeah. We use loosely.
Yeah,
We can do that.
Loosely. I am the next depiction's gonna be the Bigfoot
I know.
with the big red ass. We just got to figure out how to do all that. But anyways, yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great week.
Yes. We'll see you on Wednesday.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.